and welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so excited to welcome you back to another episode of Creator Camp Live. I think we're on episode 8. It's kind of been a whirlwind. And how many episodes have you joined us for, Owen? Are you keeping count?
I think this is like my 5th, I want to say.
Okay,
but we'll have to go back and check the receipts. Yeah.
We will absolutely have to do that. We're so excited to welcome you back. If we haven't met before, my name is Snackless. I work on the community team at Twitch, and I oversee a lot of the education that goes on here. So that's all of the content on our Creator Camp website, this show, as well as all the Creator Camp content at TwitchCon, and also our newly launched Twitch University program. I was a streamer on Twitch for about 10 years, and then I taught kindergarten. And while I was doing that, I kind of bundled it together and then came over to Twitch. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm joined by our absolutely spectacular co-host, OwengeJuiceTV, who you may call Owenge Juice, but not Owenge. Okay, that's my name for Owen.
Yeah, that's reserved for you specifically.
Exactly.
Hi, everybody.
Let them know all about you.
I'm OwengeJuiceTV. Yeah, I'm a Twitch ambassador. I do Minecraft hardcore streams, but I also try and do a little bit of like storytelling on the side, usually in the medium of Minecraft. And when I'm not doing that, I am producing and organizing servers for other content creators so they can also have a good time on Twitch in all of the different Minecraft-related things. And I'm very excited to be back again.
Amazing. Welcome back. As you can see, we have a lot of free time. You know, we're hardly up to anything these days. Owen and I have had a very busy October, but we're really excited to bring our show back for November because we took October off. So we're really excited to be back again today to hang out with each of you. If you haven't joined us for our show before, this is our interactive educational monthly show, and we teach you and talk all about streaming essentials. So sometimes we talk about content creation, community building, technical aspects, monetization, lots of those different topics that you'll need to have a successful stream. So whether you've been streaming for a long time or a short time, we're hopefully here to give you some cool things to take away. So with that in mind, I'm going to give a little plug to our amazing and awesome Creator Camp website. If you are ever looking for more information about anything that we talk about on the show or any of those topics that I mentioned, you can find them all and more on Creator Camp. We have everything, like I said, to monetization, our new content categories on Twitch sections, everything from building community to branding. So definitely check it out if you haven't. It is an awesome resource, and we definitely recommend it. So today, our episode is going to be talking about evolving as a creator. So we're 8 episodes kind of in at this point, and we've talked a lot about some basics about community, the basics of branding, getting started, thinking about monetization. So today we'll talk about taking another step further and expanding yourself and expanding your content. So we're going to talk about how to implement and think about new ideas, how to utilize extensions to enhance your stream, use third-party integrations, and also the benefits of the different collaborative tools we have on Twitch. So we hope to give you some new ideas, some inspiration, and some tips to enhance your streams and take them to a level even higher. And just a reminder that this show does have Q&A. Owen and I will answer as many questions as possible at the end of our show. So if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the chat and they will put them aside for us to answer at the end. So please feel free to keep them coming all stream long. And with that in mind, I'm going to pass it over to Owen to talk about implementing new ideas as a streamer.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to be jumping into a lot of different topics today, but the implementing new ideas and trying to keep things fresh is a really great place to start. Adding something new to your stream that keeps things fresh can attract new viewers, help maintain engagement, and keep things interesting, both for the streamer and also for the viewers. I talk to my chat a few times every year about how the community almost feels like a bit like it has a revolving door, and there you can't really guarantee that people that are going to come along and join the community are going to stay forever. Sometimes people get busy, sometimes people move on from maybe ingesting certain types of media, and you need to prepare for that by partitioning some of your time as a creator to being geared more towards how are you going to draw new people in. It's sort of like a tank that gently will drain over time, and while it may be comfortable to sit with the audience that you have, you also do need to spend a little bit of time thinking, how are we going to hook new people in as they join the stream? How are we going to get to keep them to like stick around? so that you can kind of maintain the numbers that you want to as a creator. One of the main ways that you're going to be kind of hooking people is in those first few moments where they join the stream. They click on maybe you're recommended, maybe you get rated, and a surefire way is to ensure that you differentiate the content that you create from others that are in the space. It's been called the yoink and twist a lot, where you kind of take something that maybe somebody else is doing and you put your own kind of spin on it. But it's an opportunity for you to show off your personality as you are streaming. By having everything feel fresh, or having as much as you can feel like it is unique to your community, you will be able to kind of hook those people like, oh, this is not something that I've seen before. Always falling back on how you want to be as a streamer, how you want your personality to shine. It is a really good like backbone to fall back to. But when in doubt, engaging with the chat is going to be your bread and butter. Something that is unique to Twitch is your ability to be able to interact with the community that you've got in front of you. It's different to other mediums, and even on other live streaming platforms, we're going to be looking at how a couple of things such as extensions and third-party apps are a way for you to be able to even go even further than what a normal kind of like live streaming setup might look like here on Twitch. Engagement will encourage interaction from your community. And if people feel like they are a collaborator in the content that you are creating, you're going to see that retains viewers over a longer period of time, not just in terms of, oh, how long are they going to stick around for a specific stream, but also how long are they going to stick around in terms of your career over the years, months, however long you're going to want to be doing live streaming. We're going to be looking at a lot of different ways that we can do engagement. That's one of the biggest kind of chapters that we're kind of breaking into for this specific episode. But rewarding viewers in fun ways is always a great way to basically increase that engagement. Do you have any thoughts, Snackless, on like off of the back of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, leading into retaining viewers is something that we talk about a lot. And I just hosted a panel at TwitchCon actually on retaining and rewarding viewers, because that is something for me that I spend a lot of time doing and a lot of time curating. And I think that thinking about really fun ways to reward viewers can in a way equal retention. They kind of work really hand in hand closely together, because when viewers come in and they really enjoy something and they feel valued, or they feel like they're getting something out of the stream, they are more likely then to stay in the stream. And closely tied to that is also chat interaction. And we're going to talk deeply about kind of extensions and third-party engagement and all these things. But really what we're talking about is chat engagement, right? That doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of the chat box. That could be in the form of extensions, third parties, channel points, basically ways for your community to have fun interactions with you is what they're really looking for. And on that note, we want to make sure that the ways that we're rewarding our viewers, it makes sense for our community and what we have going on. So I know we've talked about this before, but Owen has some really fun and unique ways of rewarding his stream. So one of them is that if they redeem a certain amount of channel points, they take this little orange stuffy that Owen has, and it will come out and sit on his microphone. And I always bring this up because I think, first of all, it's very cute. It's a really fun way for his community to have, one, something to look forward to, two, something to engage with, and three, something that is on brand. And you can see in chat, they already know that it is Tang. And so when Owen told me about this, I thought, wow, that's so cute. I'm going to sneak into his office, steal Tang, take it to my office, and put it on my microphone. No, of course I didn't think that. I was like, okay, I have to take this cool idea and turn it into something that would make sense for my stream. And so growing your stream and coming up with new ideas is all about taking inspiration from other streamers and then spinning those things so that they make sense and they suit your stream. I used to eat an apple every time I stream because Owen is oranges and I am apples. And so it would be kind of like if Owen heard that and was like, oh, I'll eat an apple every day on stream when we hit our sub goal. Well, that doesn't make any sense at all because Owen's stream is all about oranges. And so all of these rewards and these ideas need to be tailored and make sense to you and your community. So we really want to talk about keeping things interesting, keep chat wanting to come back, and creating must-see moments. Owen putting Tang up there is very simple. Okay, this is a very simple idea, but it's kind of grown into something cool because it gives people something to look forward to and something that they're interested in, right? They want to see Tang come out and hop up on the microphone. And that's not the only thing, obviously, that you've kind of implemented in your stream, but it's just such a really effective way to do something interesting. Something else that we talked a lot about at TwitchCon is telling a story through your stream. And so what we mean by that is having a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so you're having something fun that draws people in at the start of your stream, whether that's just a just chatting segment, whether that's, I know, a shout out to Rochelle. She's a sim streamer, a cozy streamer, and she used to draw a picture at the start of stream and then raffle it off every time. And people would come flooding into her stream by the hundreds because it was this thing that she set up that they were really excited to be a part of and something that they looked forward to. And so by doing that, she created a story. It's like the start of your stream. There's going to be this cool, fun thing where I'm going to take inspiration from the chat and then I'm going to draw something and then you're going to win that. And then we're going to have the middle of the stream where we play games together and we dive into things into deeper. And then at the end of the stream, there's going to be whatever that is that suits you and your stream. And so it's kind of like taking your chat on a journey with you and making things fun for them as you go along. And to think about it like a journey, right? Or even like a goal. I know that Owen also has a lot of cool goals that they set in Minecraft that they work towards. And that's like a really fun way for people to be a part of a story. Do you see the Minecraft journey that you go on? Do you often view that like a story? How do you feel about that when you're kind of like thinking about it behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think stories are one of like the main ways that people grow on Twitch. Like it's always been something that people are drawn to when there's an overarching narrative, and it takes so many different forms. You could literally look at anything online and boil it down into like, okay, what is the narrative that is being communicated here? There's somebody that I'm currently following on Twitter who, no, sorry, on Instagram, where they're like posting a short every day of like, okay, I'm going to do one thing in Minecraft every single day. And so that one thing is like eat a piece of bread or throw one ender pearl, which is very Minecraft specific knowledge. But they're at the end now. They're about a stone's throw away from it. And they're really growing at a significant rate right at the end because people are realizing that the culmination of these last 451 days that they've been doing this has culminated into a really interesting narrative. And so all kind of on tenterhooks day by day, that is engagement over a very long period of time. And we've seen that we can have like really simple engagement in terms of like, at the end of the day, this is just a plushie on a microphone, but it's an avenue to a new thing for chat to be able to be engaged with. Like they enjoy having some stake in when he comes out. So this is a very simple thing. If you want to try and go a little bit more elaborate, an easy win that you can go to is if you go on your Twitch dashboard and you look up community challenges or the word goals in the search bar at the top, you'll find ways that you can increase engagement and retention by setting these overarching narratives again of like, oh, if we get this many channel points, if we get this many followers, then we'll do this specific thing at the end of that. So you've immediately created an arc of like, this is where we are, this is where we're going, and this is the payoff at the end. Is a really good way to increase retention.
I like something that you brought up here is we talked a little bit about like a short form one, when that's like something that could be every stream, right? So we have something that people are looking forward to every stream that's kind of unlockable that they can work towards, right? And the other side of that is something that is a very long-term overarching goal, right? So what are you really working towards on stream? What kind of story are you telling? And what is the conclusion going to be? You know, for me, I was building this castle. I was trying to replicate a castle that was real in Valheim, and it took me forever, right? And so that is something that I was working towards over many streams, right? And so we want to have a balance of things that people can work towards for each stream, as well as across a large array of streams. So I think those are some really good examples that you can bring out that really allow people to buy into different types and different lengths of streams and content. And also shout out to Ax Noxy in the chat who came to the creator panels at TwitchCon. I'm so glad that you enjoyed all of the content that you got to see and be a part of. So with that, let's talk more about some specifics that we can lean into and give some examples for and some things that we've seen. So the next topic we're going to talk about is extensions. And so extensions are an awesome thing that you can add to your stream. They provide interactive experiences, and these are directly integrated into Twitch. So they can help creators earn revenue. They can help you share important details and information. They can also create opportunities for enhanced engagement. So if you're wondering what you can find or where you can find extensions and some information, they are available on your creator dashboard. So if you go to creator dashboard, on the left-hand side, you'll have all of those tabs to open up. And there's one called extensions there. And you can search by name or type. And you can also visit, there is a help article as well that has some detailed steps on how to set them up. But basically, you pick an extension that you think you would like, and then you approve that for your channel, and it will show up in the way that extension shows up on your channel page while you are streaming. And so there's a lot of different ones that show up. Sometimes they show up on the side of your screen, and they may show like a loadout for a game that you're playing, and viewers can click on it and see what kind of guns you're using instead of asking, or what kind of armor you're wearing, instead of asking your mods every 5 minutes in chat. But they are an absolutely awesome tool to use as a reward. I love extensions as a reward because they incentivize already existing structures, so they can use something already existing, such as channel points, to amplify. And an example of that is using channel points to have stream stickers pop up on stream. It's just a really fun way to amplify engagement and amplify interaction. And once again, as we talked about, that's really key to encouraging viewer retention. So let's talk more about these things. We talked about them kind of generally as a reward and gave some examples. I mean, really, anything is a reward depending on how you swing it for your channel.
Yeah,
anything
so many
can
of
be
these other ones
seen that
can
way.
be swapped out. Like you can see, like viewer attack is in revenue and engagement. We'll jump. Sorry, carry on. I interrupted you there, but yeah, you're right. Like a lot of these will be in
this is a
different
perfect
categories.
time.
Sure, yeah. I was going to say, like,
talk to us about some of these.
Yeah, so you kind of digested a little bit there, the stream stickers. That also helps with engagement. We're going to be seeing a little bit an example of, I got the honor of being able to scare one of my friends using viewer attack, which you can see is in revenue and engagement. My friend CPK. We'll look at that in a little bit. But just to kind of dive deeper into this revenue concept, by using extensions to help diversify your income stream beyond subs and bits, you're increasing that financial security as a streamer. Like you have all of these different pots where everything are coming in from. Maybe it's subs, maybe it's bits, maybe it's other things like donations on third-party apps or whatever. By having extensions feed into that, you're adding another sort of slice of the pie. And we spoke about this at San Diego at TwitchCon at one of the creator camps. By having more of those avenues, you're increasing your security day in, day out as a full-time streamer or part-time or however way you want to cut it. Crowd control and viewer attack are two very easy to jump into extensions. There's going to be loads that you can do this with, but we're going to be giving you guys a couple of ones that came off the top of our head when we were creating the show. Basically opportunities for the viewers to buy bits and then use those bits to jump scare, have some kind of meme come up, do some kind of sound bite, or if it's crowd control, impact the game in a certain way, and just sort of cause terror as chat members are wont to do. And you'll find that as
I love those.
You generate, those are one of my favorites. As you generate these moments, you're going to also be generating engagement that we've seen earlier on. We discussed how important it is. It's essentially what sets this platform apart. And while something like viewer attack can be good for pretty much every game, if you are planning to jump into a new game, maybe take an opportunity and a second to see whether or not there is an extension specifically for that game. So as an example, one of the ones that my chat and I play often is called King of the Castle, where the streamer is the monarch and all of the viewers are like different kingdoms as part of the monarch's reign. And they're sort of working with and against each other at times. It's such a good game. You absolutely got to play it.
Okay,
and the extension allows the players to be able to, the viewers to be able to see like how much money they have in the pot, what kingdom they're a part of, what their plans are for their kingdom. And it just adds in like that extra element of immersion that the chat are going to be able to feel. So absolutely go look into using extensions as a way to increase engagement as well. And
I love that. Those are some really great shouts.
Yeah. You also mentioned, just to wrap this one up, there was using extensions as overlays. So you can have overlays for
Yeah.
if you're in a specific game, you might have like a loadout. But there's also ways of like quality of life. For example, there might be one if you're using like copyright-free music on Spotify. Maybe you have a license to be able to use that music. You will be able to have an extension that people can then see what song you're playing, and it doesn't kind of clutter up any of the overlays that you might
Yeah.
have, or it might not clutter up chat if you don't want it to. And then also just for accessibility, there's a bunch of extensions for being able to have like closed captions. So as you speak, what you're saying is written down. My community are constantly at the top of every single stream ask me to turn that one on, just because it helps is wherever they
Yeah.
are, whatever they might be doing. If they're in like a quiet or loud place, they can just look at the captions and be able to figure out what's going on from there. So there is a myriad of different extensions that you can use, and a bunch of different categories. We've really only skimmed the surface of this. And even
Yeah.
when creating the show, there was a bunch that I found, like I didn't realize that Spotify now playing, or even what viewer attack was until I dived deeper into it. So even if you've been
Yeah,
streaming for a
there's some
long time,
amazing ones.
definitely go check it out.
Can we pull that image up again? That would be awesome to show and just like talk about a little bit deeper with some of the cool extensions that we've seen. So some of the extensions that we have available suit different types of streams. And so what we've gone ahead and done on Creator Camp under the content categories is we've left some suggestions for different extensions at the very bottom of each of those pages. Because if you're a food and drink streamer, you might want a bit of a different extension compared to if you're an IRL streamer, right? So there's lots of really cool ways that you can utilize different extensions, like having your chat be able to make suggestions on like where to go next or what you'll eat for IRL streaming. To viewer attack is perfect because you could kind of use that in any stream, but I've seen it used in food and drink as well as co-working. I saw this really awesome stream where they had they take a break during the co-working, so they're working, and then during the break they use the one where they throw the tomatoes, right? And then the streamer, they have to dodge them, and then if they don't dodge them, if the viewer hits them, then they get a reward for doing that. So I love seeing these extensions that people have, and they've taken an extension that could be seen as something very simple, and they've done something interesting about it. And that's really kind of the name of the game when we talk about viewer retention and keeping our viewers interested and engaged, right? Is that we think about doing something that is otherwise very simple and putting a spin on it so that it is interesting and so that it suits our channel and our chat and our communities, so that we can continue to enhance and kind of level up that content. I also love the overlay ones that you mentioned. I especially love them for streams where you find like you are answering the same question on repeat. You know, if you can find an extension that will answer those questions for you or let people explore that information on their own, it's a really, really great resource to have. I know Destiny 2 has one. So it will tell you, like I mentioned, the armor that's going on and the gun and the loadout that's happening. And that can be particularly useful if you have a lot of people asking the same sort of thing. And so I would encourage you, you know, if you haven't used an extension in a while, to at least go in there and browse them. Or even you can ask your community to say like, hey, what other extensions have you seen people using that were interesting, that were cool? Or are there any extensions that you'd love for me to give a try to? Because there's some really fun ones. And as Owen mentioned, you don't always know the new ones that are in there. So we don't exactly know what's going on if we're not in there all the time. So it's always good practice to kind of check it out and see what's new, what's happening, and what we can add to our stream that will help to elevate it. So with that being
Also,
said,
just as like
we have a
as a
lot.
quick
Oh,
aside,
yes. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as like a quick shout out, chat, is there anybody here who has a streamer that they watch who has like an extension that they routinely like to see used? Mainly
Yes.
also just for myself, I'm constantly headhunting for more extensions or different functionality. If anybody's got one, feel free to throw it in. But sorry, carry on, Snackless.
Yes, no, that's a great shout out. I'd love to hear once again, like even the castle one that you were mentioning. I was like, oh, that sounds really fun, really cool. I love when something new kind of like takes a hold on Twitch and then everyone's like either playing the game or using the extension or like doing something fun. I absolutely love it. Oh, the little characters on the screen, Dahlia, I love those ones. Okay, so this is where you can set them to match different things, but basically if somebody subscribes or they do some kind of action, it will allow them to have, they're called, I think they're stream avatars. Can't remember the
Yeah, I
exact
think
name
I've
of the
heard of
extension,
those.
but basically all little you are represented as like a little creature across the bottom of the stream, and often it'll have like your name, and they are so cute. And then they like go around and do different activities or interact with each other doing different things at the bottom. So cute. And shout out to Louis Vuitton. Jetpack Louis uses blurp walk-ons. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, right.
Nice.
Is that the music where they come in to? I feel like that might be that, where you can like set different kinds of something different happens, or you can even have it like in text. It can welcome people when they come to stream. Those are some really great shout outs for sure. Oh yeah, the Tangia one. Yes, that's another great one. Stream avatar is so cute. Yeah, some really great shout outs. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your suggestions. And just a reminder that we do take Q&A on this show. So if you have any questions at all, please pop them in the chat and we will answer as many as we can at the end. So no fear if you ask a question and we don't get to it in the middle of our conversation. We will absolutely do our best to get to it at the end. Yeah, there's also, I mean, extensions are one way. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, okay, yeah, my favorite streamer doesn't use extensions, but they do use this. So with that, let's move on to our next section, because we're going to talk about a few other ways that we can enhance engagement and bring new life into our stream and bring something fun to happen. So that would be third-party events. So third-party events originate from services that are not on Twitch, which is kind of what a lot of people are leading into right now.
Yeah.
And to use third-party events, you must have an account that you account with that service, and then you authorize it to connect to Twitch, basically. And there are instructions on how to do that safely on our Twitch help article, set up third-party events, and we'll also pop that in chat for you. So if you're interested on how to set these things up, or in more information on how to choose and do that safely, we'll have that there for you for reference. But there are a myriad of different third-party events. I mean, there's kind of like endless. There's so many cool ones available. And as you'll see here, this is the clip that Owen mentioned.
Oh yeah. So this is with my friend CPK. He was playing a scary game, and he has so this is viewer tax. This is the extension that we are just talking about, and he's got it hooked up so that you can buy bits and then go ahead and throw in whatever you want. And I obviously had to choose. I actually had to try a few times to get him in a moment where he was actually scared, because you can see he points at the camera and goes, "You got me there." So I think I terrorized him for the good part of an hour trying to get him at a moment where he was scared, and it was great fun.
Wow, you were really
that's
locked
a great example. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, good job. I mean, it was effective. It absolutely worked. That's a really, really great use of a third-party event. There's many different ways that you can utilize them. We're going to talk about a few of them because obviously, like I mentioned, the kind of the uses are endless, right? There's so many that you could kind of choose from, but one of the ones you can utilize are alerts. So, having alerts pop up on screen. Of course, we have alerts that are integrated into Twitch, but those aren't the only way that people have alerts. They often have them set up for through their OBS or through their slobs or through another program that they've then added that browser extension for. Sometimes I use the St. Jude site to have a different type of alert when I'm doing charity fundraising for them. And so these adding alerts in this way can add a professional presentation. You can kind of level up the aesthetics and the visuals in that way. You can also add a lot of customization this way. So you can add it to match your brand or the theme or whatever special activity is going on, whether that's a charity stream or a subathon. And alerts are always great. I always encourage alerts for kind of as many things as you can so that they don't flood your stream, pardon me. But we really want to use them to create excitement around specific events. And they also are a really great tool to reward viewers, whether that is to thank them for subscribing or bits, or to thank them for donating to a charity or doing something fun. Viewers love to be recognized, and alerts are a really, really great way to do that. And so, as I mentioned, there's Streamlabs. There's also Stream Elements. There's so many different platforms that allow you to curate alerts. They allow you to have like an image, a sound, and text. And so you can kind of choose how you want to integrate those in. I know we were just kind of talking about jump scares, but whenever I do a scary stream, I change my alerts to be all scary, and then I turn the volume to like 110%, and then I make the image really scary. And so I think it's really the act of the sound kind of like blaring into my eardrums that will like scare the heck out of me and my stream. But it's a really, really great resource and a really fun way to switch up what you've already got going on in very easily, right? It's not a lot of work to add a new set of alerts for a special event, or even if you haven't updated your alerts in a long time, like it might be a good idea to take another look at them and say, is there anything I would change? Is there anything I would do to enhance these alerts to kind of take them to the next level? So that's one of the ways that you can kind of utilize third-party events. I know Owen is going to kind of talk to us a little bit about some of the other ways that stand out to them about third-party alerts.
Yes, yeah. We were speaking at the very beginning of the show, engagement again. If there's anything that you take away from this particular episode of the show when leveling up as a creator, is that you have a unique opportunity on Twitch to collaborate with the people in your community as you're going live on Twitch, like as you're building this show. It's one of the unique selling points you have as a streamer. And at certain points, maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to focus in on the game and you're like, I'm just putting on a show, just me, and I'm going to go all in on this. And maybe I might not even be able to read chat for certain segments of time if I'm really immersed in the game. That's totally fine. But there are opportunities that you have to be able to interact with them. And you'll find that it takes almost a lot of the heavy lifting and a bit of the burden off of you as an entertainer when you're able to riff with the chat. And one of the strongest ways to do that you may have seen in a bunch of different streamers' platforms is TTS, which is short for text to speech. You can do it through alerts, as we were just mentioning with Stream Elements or Streamlabs. Twitch also has baked in alerts into the Twitch dashboard, which you can now use. And you can tick an option that basically just says read out the chat message. If it gets past the moderation filters, go ahead and just read it out using a like robotic voice. And there's a bunch of different voices you can use. These are always really cool opportunities to have like ongoing bits or jokes of your chat. And it increases that opportunity to have retention and engagement spike based off of like, how are you communicating to your audience? But if you want to like abstract away from that, you can even play whole games just using third-party events and like systems. For example, Words on Stream is a game that hooks into your Twitch chat. And people have to kind of guess what the letters can like, what words you can make based off of the letters that are on the stream. A lot of people use those during subathons when they're going live for as long as people kind of like donate with bits and subs or whatever. If they're longer streams and they will like want to eat some food, that's another opportunity. These third-party events can act as ways for you to kind of take a breather as a entertainer, as a streamer, but also while doing that, see an increase in that retention and the engagement that you have. A lot of them are saving you time while you are live, such as being able to automate repetitive tasks. We mentioned earlier there's some extensions such as with Destiny 2 where you can share your loadout for the game. But you can also hook it into Streamlabs or Stream Elements again, or any other kind of service that can send things directly into your chat where people can do like exclamation mark and then a certain word and then the information comes up. So for example, for myself, exclamation mark project is what my audience would do if they wanted to know what type of thing I was building in Minecraft on that specific day. And that saves me from, as a streamer, having to basically be like, oh, hey, welcome to the community. Yeah, I'm doing this. And then 2 minutes later, somebody comes in and asks the exact same question. Well, the question is absolutely warranted. They want to know what's going on. They want context to enjoy the stream. For the other, however many people that have already heard me say this, they don't want me to have to keep repeating myself. So that's another great opportunity to save you a lot of the heavy lifting. And then also you can use those third-party extensions for things with like charity or fundraising. It helps the professionalism and the automation of maybe having like charity events if you have a goal. Some of you may be familiar with things like Tiltify. That's an integration where people can have things happen to the stream based off of what they donate. It can hook into Twitch's like API is what it would be called to be able to change the content that you're creating as you're doing fundraising or charity events. I work with a company that does something called Love Tropics, which is a specific thing in Minecraft, which is a wonderful opportunity to help eco stuff. And they use Tiltify and they are a massive company. So whether you're just starting out on Twitch and you want to do charity fundraising on a small scale, or if you're like working on a massive one, being able to use these third-party events will help lift a lot of the heavy load of like working at some of the more nitty-gritty levels and allow you to free up that mental space to focus on what you should be focusing on the most, which is putting on a good show as a streamer and entertainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I got a question in chat. Basically, does this work for different types of like OBS? Basically, is what the question is, and the answer is yes. So the way that most of these ones that we're talking about on these third party events, this is through the third party events website. So basically, what you do is you go to Tiltify and you make your own Tiltify account, and then you connect your Tiltify with your Twitch account. There's like an integration that happens, and then you're able to import whatever that looks like, right? Whether it's a browser source for alerts or capturing the screen for like words on stream, same thing. So basically you connect your Twitch account, and then it will track the words that are typed in chat, and then you basically just browser share that source on screen, and then people can play the game along with you. That was a mouthful of S words, but you're absolutely able to integrate those into whatever broadcasting software you are utilizing. And yes, we love Tiltify and we love fundraising. We on Twitch and on any platform. Really, it is such a gift to be able to do charity fundraising, and something that I have a lot of experience with, and so do many of the people in chat. So if you've ever fundraised for anything, shout out to you. You're definitely doing something great for the world and the people around you. Let's dive into kind of our last topic of elevating and enhancing your streams. And this one is collaborative Twitch tools. So this is more a focus on what does Twitch already have in place that can help you amplify your stream, change what's going on, and take it to another level. So Twitch's collaborative tools such as Stream Together and Drop-ins work to help you expand your stream, your reach, and your content. Both of these tools are excellent resources for streamers of any size, and something that we absolutely recommend that you use. So kind of at the base of this is what we're really suggesting here is collaboration, right? And so why should you care about collaborating with anyone else, right? What we really want you to do is find people that you genuinely connect with, that you genuinely like, you enjoy their content, get to know them, and then ask them if they'd like to play a game together. Doing this can expand your reach. It also helps you create new, unique content. You know, playing Peak alone by yourself is not the same experience as playing Peak with some of the friends that you've met, and you might want to invite them onto your stream and do something fun together, right? It's going to give you new clips, something cool to look at, something different, and it can also create networking and new opportunities. You know, I always say that it's kind of better together, and if you can find somebody that you click with, that you jive with, that you're making great fun content with together, it can really open up the door to a lot of new opportunities. And so that's kind of some of the reasons on why we should consider collaborating. If possible, could we bring that asset up one more time so I can talk a little bit about that? So what we're showing together on this asset is our stream together. So this is what it looks like when you are streaming together. So there's a variety of things that happen when you do stream together, but one of them is that when you go to the channel page, you can see that it says Pika Peach is streaming with Taylor Liz. And so not only does it have that beside her name, it's like a shout out to this person that I'm playing games with, is that I'm already following Taylor Liz in this clip, but you can see that when I hover over it, it gives you the option to then follow that person or, I guess, obviously unfollow them, which clearly we're not going to do, but it gives you kind of a snippet of all about Taylor Liz, right? So if you're not familiar with Taylor Liz, but you're a follower of Pika Peach, now you know kind of their bio, what they're into, their links to their different platforms that you can find them on. And that's only one of the things that happens when you utilize Stream Together. When you're in the browse section as well, it adds this banner box around the video player. So when you're scrolling, you can really find streams that are streaming together quite easily. And not only that, but it also combines your viewership together. And so if you are a growing streamer and you're trying to get out there, it's an awesome, awesome way to kind of pull you up, especially, if you're kind of stuck under that 10 CCV. It's a really, really great way to find someone else who has viewership that is somewhat close to you, someone that you connect with, and then use that to plus each other up. And have fun. Being a creator on Twitch is all about having fun together, creating cool content together, and growing together. And Stream Together is just one way to do that. And we can pop a link in chat. I'm not sure if we updated this one, but we have a link in there that has a full guide on how to start that up together. But once again, on your creator dashboard on the left-hand side, you can click Stream Together, and then there's a guide on it. Launches a separate window, and basically you add in the person that you'd like to stream together. And then from there, you can decide if you want to have their camera also on your screen, their audio also coming through, and also enabling shared chat, which we're going to talk about in detail in a moment. But it is an awesome, awesome resource that we absolutely recommend. And it's such a fun way to get out there, to meet new people, to grow your stream. And I can't recommend it enough, especially with all of the fun like party games that are going around right now. There's like a plethora of very fun games that you can play with people, and Stream Together is a really great fit for a lot of those. So definitely consider it if you haven't yet. And let's talk a little bit deeper about the shared chat portion of that. That is something that you can enable or not. You can choose kind of on what suits you best. But I'm going to let Owen talk a little bit about shared chat and what the pluses are of that and how great it is and what a fun tool it is.
Yeah, absolutely. When you do join into a stream together, you obviously have the options of being able to have their assets such as their visuals or their audio coming through. But you can also just leave it bare bones so that you just have that like as you saw in the asset. But you also have the option of turning on shared chat, which allows streamers to sort of pool all of their community into one big pile. Chat members, when they talk in shared chats, have badges of whose chat that they are like talking in, which allows you to be able to like see like, okay, these people are from my community. I can see their origin. It also is an exciting opportunity to like, oh, I've recognized that chatter. It's cool to see that they're currently in the other person's chat, and we like share that audience, giving you a little bit more intel and analytics as you go live. You can enable it or disable it if you are the host, and moderators from all streams are able to moderate that shared chat. If you want to know a little bit more about the specifics of what that looks like and what happens afterwards, you can look at the help article over like, okay, if you ban somebody from this specific chat, what happens? But it's all very neatly lined out, so you don't have to worry about like, okay, am I going to lose my audience because they're going to be banned by people we don't know? That doesn't happen. It's pretty concrete. But what it does do when you turn on shared chat, and this is only when you turn on shared chat, I had a look today in the article, is that you also get that shared viewership that was mentioned. So all Twitch streamers' viewerships are joined together into a single audience, and that number is publicized alongside, you can see on the left-hand side if you're on desktop, you've got the like followed channels and for you and live channels. You would have a bunch of people's circles of their avatars next to your name, but you would also have that increased number of everybody pulled together. When you are doing a shared chat and shared viewership moment, you can scroll over it on the desktop application to be able to see how that breakdown occurs over like, okay, where is the audience lying in all of this? But in terms of like getting your name out there, working with people that you haven't with before, or people that you're trying to grow an audience alongside with, shared chat and shared viewership is one of the great ways to grow. It's also, just as a final throw out, a great way to like immerse yourself in the community that you're in. My two closest friends, Beckymon and Superfella Louise, I found through Twitch streaming before Stream Together was a thing, and we use it all the time now. Because we're so close that it just makes sense for us to kind of have all of our audience sort of jumping between. We all stream at different times, so it's great to kind of have that feedback loop, but both for our own careers, but also to be able to like joke around with people that we like recognize from other communities as well. So definitely look into it as a way to evolve your content.
Amazing. Yeah, great shout out to that. And also like it's so nice when you're playing a game with somebody and you also want them and you want to help them to combine that viewership and to uplift them, right? It's like I said, we're kind of better together, and it's so awesome when you meet people like Owen was saying, like their closest friends, and then that they get to play games together and uplift each other is such a gift. And kind of this is nothing really to do with what we're talking about, but that's one other thing that I would say is like don't sleep on rating people. Rating people with any number of viewership is still showing that you, one, support them, two, want to encourage them, and three, that you appreciate them and the content that they're creating. It's another great way to kind of start to bridge those connections. I find we get a lot of questions about like, how do do I start collaborating? Like, how do I even start that process? And rating, it can be one kind of part of that, is that, you know, when you are rated by the same person, you start to recognize them. When you see their name in chat, you start to recognize them, right? And so it can take some time to build genuine relationships. But as you can see with Owen talking about their two closest friends, it's absolutely worth it to find people that you jive with and want to create content with, because it's just so much more fun when you've got people along for the ride, whether it's RV we there yet, or like trying to climb the mountain and peak, or, you know, playing like 150 hours of Baldur's Gate, whatever it is. It's so much fun to have people together with you on all of those journeys. So with that, we are going to go ahead and switch to our Q&A segment. If you have questions that you'd still like to ask, please feel free to pop them in the chat. If you've already asked a question, they have pulled them aside for us, and we will do our best to kind of work our way through them for the last little bit of our show today. So thanks so much for sticking around, and hopefully we will be able to get to your questions. So our first question is from the Beej5. As a micro streamer, how does one draw in, retain, and keep viewers coming back? Okay, so we just presented on this at Creator Camp. Basically, it's like retaining and rewarding viewers, right? There's a lot that comes with starting a stream. You know, everything from branding to community to rewarding viewers, etc. There's a lot to think about, and so it's best to just pick one thing, go from there, enhance it, pick another thing, go from there. So what I would recommend is thinking about ways that are going to have your stream stand out. So what can you do that is interesting, unique, and engaging in your stream that can get you to stand out? And then that will start to help draw people in. And then once you get them in there, we really need to think about, how are we going to retain a viewer? So how are we going to reward a viewer? When I think of the word retention, I think of the word reward. How can I reward my viewer in a way that will make them want to come back? There is some absolutely excellent information on these topics on Creator Camp. So it's twitch.tv/Creator Camp. I would recommend checking out like growing a community in there. There's also another section under going live that will talk about how to choose what directory to kind of stream in and how to make those decisions. You may find both of those articles really helpful, but at a really zoomed out view, I would just think about what can I do to stand out? And then two, as soon as they come into stream, what am I doing that is unique, interesting, and different that will get them to stay?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on this one from Axe Nossi, which says, if a streamer is participating in streams together, should voice chat be shared also for chatting context, or should streamers mute to focus on their chatters even if the chat is shared? I think this comes down to, I think it comes down to the people that you're streaming with. There is a sort of etiquette when you are streaming of other people, that if you are going to be discussing something that is outside of knowledge that they would have, usually it's the best idea to mute up. But one of the great reasons why shared chat works so well is that you remove that barrier where you can then actually, like, let's say that Snackless and I were both doing this stream together from our own channels, and we could both see everybody in this chat right now was talking. If I pull somebody out from the chat and like elevate that comment and be like, oh, I want to talk about this, Snackless isn't left in the dark, and it can jump in on it. So I don't think you need to mute up if you're talking about content that people can see, but at the very, like, if you're at all even in the slightest bit nervous about it, just taking 5 seconds before you go live with the person, being like, hey, do you want to have a rule where if we're talking to a chatter, we mute up so we don't disturb the gameplay? Takes 5 seconds, everybody knows where they stand, and it's a good way to like move forwards from that.
100%. And I would say it's better etiquette to, if you're talking to just your chat directly, as Owen mentioned, it's better etiquette to mute, like, especially if you're like, oh, thank you so much, Owen Juice, for subscribing to the Snacklets for 76 months. Like, if I'm going through my little spiel, that's a really good time to mute, so that I'm not talking over the other person that I'm streaming with. It's always best to be considerate, to err on the side of consideration, especially if you're just getting to know someone. So I think those are really good shout, Owen. Amazing. Okay, where are we? Which would you say, from Dali, which would you say is better, implementing new short-term things or long-terming, if I had to pick?
I feel like it's both, right? I feel like I feel like I wouldn't be able to.
Listen, I don't think you can pick. What I would say, okay, this is what I would say. I would actually suggest that you split it down the middle. So instead of choosing one or the other, I would suggest that you do one short term, one long term, instead of being like, oh, I'm going to do two short term quick things that people can do every stream when they come in. I would suggest having one short and one long. So having a short term quick thing that people can utilize when they come to stream could be as simple as having channel points for a daily check-in. I love daily check-in. Mine is they get their daily apple. It tracks how many apples they've gotten every stream. And so it'll be like, oh, thanks for coming, Owenge. Here's your daily gala apple. You've eaten 10 apples, basically. And it's like a really fun way for people to track how many streams they've been to. And it's also like just this fun, silly way to do something. So having something in that is short term can be quick and easy. I would say that they're both of value and importance, and I would try to make sure you cater to both of them.
I'd
Chat
like to
says
jump
that
in
they
here on
like
this
daily
one.
check-ins.
Oh,
Yes, jump in.
yes, yeah. The DigiWorld says, I have a question from the POV of a fairly new streamer who, sadly enough, can't stream consistently at all, only finding time during summer breaks. How do I improve the quality of the stream as a way to compensate for the lack of quantity? Okay, so I'm putting an asterisk next to everything that I'm about to say. This is the personal opinion of OwengeJuiceTV. I'm not saying that this will or will not work for you in any capacity more than what I personally think. But I would take a moment to sit down and structure the way that you stream as seasons. If you're going to have that built-in structure of like, okay, this is my summer break and this is when I'm able to stream, and all of the other times I'm going to be focusing on my study, which is a great idea. Not letting any audience you build up know, being like, oh, next season's coming up, and here are all of the things that I've got planned for when I'm going to be doing this, like quote unquote season, builds in that structure, anticipation, and payoff as people go like, okay, I'm excited for DigiWorld's next season. Apparently it's going to be even better than the previous one. And then as you build that structure in, you make those events, which are your streams, even though they're fewer and farther between, bigger things than what somebody like myself who goes live on a Minecraft world, and it's the same Minecraft world, and a lot of my streams are sort of like digestible daily content that people are checking on over long periods of time. Occasionally we do something big where we fight the Ender Dragon, or there's like a big lore payoff, or there's like a big build that we finish. But most of the time we're just sort of like middling into this like low stakes game. If you have less of an opportunity to do a lot of quantity, having each of those be like more pedestaled as like, this is the next episode of this big season that I'm planning, is a great way to kind of pull people in. Again, may not work, but it is an opportunity for you to like see something that may be a detriment in your eyes and actually allow it to propel the structure of how you do your show.
Yeah, those are some really good ideas. I think that that's a great shout, is that, you know, you're capitalizing what you do have, right? We know that consistency is really key and really, really helpful when you're going your stream. But let's say you can't do that, then you should control what you do have control over, right? Is making the time that you do stream absolutely awesome and stand out to people. So I think that those are some really, really great shout outs. Okay. Some of these questions too are like questions that I don't have insight into, or that I can't speak to. You know, some of these questions like, would it be possible average viewers displayed in the stream manager during live streams in the future? Oh, that actually is that ear squeaker. I'm almost absolutely certain that if you go to your oh my gosh, you go to your stream manager across the top, you can choose to have it show there. So if you go to stream manager while you're streaming, I keep mine up during stream because it's really great to run an ad if I take a break, run a poll, a prediction, any kinds of those things. But there you can choose to have viewers, followers, bitrate. There's like a whole bunch, and they're just like right across the top of your stream. That is a really easy place to grab that information for. Okay, so I guess I answered that. Excellent.
There you go, yeah. Somebody, Axe Noxy asked, is there a way to see how broad or common a tag is so streamers aren't accidentally using niche tags? I don't think there's a way to specifically see like, oh, is this tag used a lot? But if you go to your creator dashboard, analytics, viewer section, discovery, scroll halfway down, you'll be able to see all of the tags that you use and how many views and impressions those tags get. For example, family friendly, which is one of the ones I have on all the time, is my biggest one. And it's the reason why I am family friendly, because the audience that I've cultivated is one that wants to have somebody that they can have on and not have to worry about who might be listening. And so you can weed out maybe some tags that aren't doing as big of a pull as they might be able to. So you can't see what are niche, but you can see what pulls in the most people.
Yeah, great shout out. That's a great answer to that. Okay, our next question is from Denise. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. Denise says, I've been growing a lot outside of Twitch, slay, which brings these people to my Twitch channel. Is it okay to mention different social media platforms in our Twitch stream, or is it rather harmful? I've been seeing mixed opinions on it. Oh, Mike, tell him. Absolutely tell them. I mean, there's no real drawback to having people know where to find you, right? It's like it's not possible for you to be live streaming 24/7, right? And so if somebody comes to your channel and they want to find your content and you're not live, we want them to be able to watch the VODs or watch our clips or find your content on TikTok. Or, quite often a lot of us post when we go live on social media or on an Instagram story. And we want people to be able to engage with us when we're not live on Twitch. So I would absolutely send them back and forth, right? Like, hey, I'm not streaming tomorrow, but you can find playthroughs of my Twitch streams on my YouTube channel. That is a totally awesome way to kind of spread people across the board for finding you and your content and letting them watch you do funny things when they want to. So yeah, I would absolutely continue that.
Shadow Wolf asked, if someone is banned during shared chat, do they only get banned from the streamer's channel they were banned from, as well as the shared chat while it's being streamed? It won't mean they get banned from the other streamer's chat, right? Absolutely right. I just went ahead and Googled it for you.
Yep.
Users cannot chat for the duration of the shared chat. After the shared chat is over, they remain banned in the channel where the ban originated, but they are fine in the other people's. So that's all fine there.
Okay, perfect.
Let's see what else we
amazing.
have. Mm-hmm.
Someone in chat, Final Girl, said, I don't know if you answered this, but do you recommend leaving recordings on YouTube? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Take your VOD, because your VOD can't live forever on Twitch, right? So because Twitch is a live streaming platform, your live content can be found there. And so what we want to do is then use that live content and turn that VOD into something, right? Whether that is segments so people can do watch playthroughs on YouTube, whether that's like shorts so they can watch their clips, or turn that into TikToks. Absolutely would totally recommend leaving recordings somewhere. Even at the very least, if you don't have time to edit them, putting your VOD on YouTube at least means that that content goes somewhere and that you can do something with it afterwards, right? Or downloading them so that you can do something in the future with them is definitely something that we would recommend. Yeah, definitely creating either short form of some kind of content from that, or leaving the VOD is absolutely something we would recommend for sure.
I believe you can upload straight to YouTube now from the creator dashboard, from the video producer.
Even
so yeah,
easier,
do that.
100%. All right, let's go for maybe one more.
Sure, absolutely. Is it better to just start streaming and trying things to become more confident? Again, totally subjective here we're talking about. You will not be able to learn all of the lessons that you need to as a streamer until you start going live. There's only so much preparation that you can do. And while it's a really great idea to ingest all of the content that we've created on Creator Camp to give you the best possible starting foot forward, you'll be able to skip hundreds of mistakes that I would have made when I first started if you do a lot of the pointers and general heads up that we give here on the channel. At the end of the day, hands-on experience is where you're going to build that confidence. You're not going to be able to build that community until you start making those mistakes. And it isn't something that isn't going to happen. If you start and it doesn't work out, maybe down the line you need to think about how you want to pivot. Maybe streaming isn't the type of media for you in terms of full-time, but ultimately, are you getting enjoyment from it? Are you heading to where you want to go? And the sooner you get live, the sooner you can figure that out for yourself. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, amazing. I must confess that I didn't actually read the last little segment that I was going to talk about on our show before we started our Q&A. So I'm going to quickly touch base on that before we wrap things up. I meant to talk about, so we were talking about collaborative Twitch tools. And so we talked about Stream Together and the shared chat function. And the one thing that I accidentally skipped over was our shared hype trains. And so I just wanted to give you a quick blurb on that. When you are doing a shared chat together, a shared hype train can pop up for you. And when it starts in one streamer's chat, it starts in both, which is really cool. And then both of your communities can therefore contribute to the shared hype train at the same time. The one thing that you do need to know is that revenue is not split. So if you have someone in your channel who's contributing bits, gifted subs in your channel, the revenue will still go to you, but it will continue to boost that train and keep it going longer together. And there's even occasionally specific rewards, that emotes that can come out from that, because you're able to kind of boost that hype train for longer or even to higher levels. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight and a little bit of a conclusion on our topic of Twitch's collaborative tools. Thank you so much for tuning into this month's Creator Camp Live episode. We had a lot of fun talking about how to amplify streams, how to take them to the next level. And we had some really great questions. So I'm absolutely thrilled that we were able to get through so many of them today. If you're looking for more content from Creator Camp Live, you can find it on our YouTube. We have highlights from our shows, as well as VODs from our full shows as well. We even have new short series that we are putting out from Creator Camp. So whether you are new to streaming, experienced, or on your way, we have lots of content there that will suit you no matter where you are on your path. And keep an eye on our Creator Camp website. I mentioned it a lot in this show. It just has a lot of great information for streamers who are just getting started or who are looking to grow in specific areas. So I'd absolutely recommend checking that out as well. And I want to say the biggest thank you to Orange Juice for being my co-host again and slaying another show. Let us know where we can find you after today's show.
Yep, absolutely. OwengeJuiceTV on all platforms. We do Minecraft storytelling. So if you're into narratives, which many people are, feel free to check me out there.
Absolutely. Follow OwengeJuiceTV, also known as Owange by me, and you can enjoy the stressful Minecraft. I am so stressed whenever you guys are like doing something hardcore wise. That stresses me out immensely. I fear for your Minecraft character's life, but I suppose that's all part of the fun. Big thank you to Owange for being a part of our show today, and a huge thank you to our team behind the scenes. I know you don't see them, but we know them and love them and really appreciate them making this show run so smoothly for us. So thank you so much to each of you. We are going to be rating Kelpsy today, our Twitch ambassador. I'm not sure what they're up to yet. I got to check it out, but we want to swing by, say hi. So if you have a moment to say hi to Kelpsy, we would really appreciate it. Otherwise, make sure you follow this channel, check out the Creator Camp site, and tune in next month for our monthly Creator Camp show. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us today. We appreciate you all. Have a fabulous month. Thank you.